All right. Good evening, everybody. It's Friday, and that means we're doing some more Metal Gear Solid. There's our PlayStation logo. Everyone loves the PlayStation logo. We saw that last time. But what we are going to do is we're going to hit up a little bit more of the briefing. We're going to finish the briefing. So we're going to stop this one. Because what we wanted to do, what we missed last time, was all of this. So let's take a look at this.
The chief of DARPA and the president of an arms manufacturing company. What business did they have at a nuclear weapons disposal facility?
The truth is that secret exercises were being conducted at the time the terrorist group attacked.
Must be extremely important exercises if those two were directly involved. Were they testing some kind of new advanced weapon?
I'm not privy to that information.
Do we know exactly where they're being held?
The DARPA chief has also been injected with a mini transmitter. As you get closer, you should be able to pick up his location on your radar.
Do they really have the ability to launch a nuclear missile?
They say they do. They even gave us the serial number of the warhead they plan to use.
Was the number confirmed?
I'm afraid so. At the very least, they've got their hands on a real nuclear warhead.
Isn't there some kind of safety device to prevent this type of terrorism?
Yes. Every missile and warhead in our arsenal is equipped with a PAL, which uses a discrete detonation code.
PAL.
Permissive Action Link. The safety control system built into all nuclear weapons systems. But even so, we can't rest easy.
Why not?
Because the DARPA chief knows the detonation code.
But even if they have a nuclear warhead, it must have been removed from its missile. All the missiles on these disposal sites are supposed to be dismantled. It's not that easy to get your hands on an ICBM.
Or to field one.
That used to be true. But since the end of the Cold War, you can get anything if you have enough money and the right connections.
Doesn't really answer the question there, does he? Of course, that's what these games are all about. Questions not being answered. Snake going in without without knowing what he's doing, basically.
How well armed are these terrorists? I know there was an exercise going on at the time they revolted.
They're heavily armed, I'm afraid.
What about their battle experience?
The 6 members of FOX-HOUND in charge are all hardened veterans. They're tough enough to eat nails and ask for seconds.
I wouldn't expect anything less from FOX-HOUND.
The others are next-generation special forces. They're not your average grunts either.
So what exactly are they demanding?
A person's remains.
Remains?
That's right. To be more accurate, cell specimens which contain the individual's genomic information.
Cell specimens? Why would they want that?
The terrorists need them. You see, these next-generation special forces have been strengthened through gene therapy.
Strengthened?
You've heard of the Human Genome Project. They've been mapping the human genome, and they're nearly finished. Following up on this research, the military has been working towards identifying those genes which are responsible for making effective soldiers.
There are genes that do that?
Yes. And using gene therapy, they're able to transplant those genes into regular soldiers.
Gene therapy?
I'll explain this part. With gene therapy, we can remove those genes which we know may lead to sickness or disease, and at the same time splice in genes with beneficial effects, such as resistance to cancer, for example.
In other words, we can overcome all sorts of genetic diseases, and at the same time add genetic characteristics as desired.
Okay.
Sort of.
And so if you knew what genes were responsible for making the perfect soldier, you could implant them in the same way, right?
Yes, we could.
But it all depends on being able to isolate and identify those soldier genes.
And in order to do that, it's helpful if you can study the genomic information of one of the greatest soldiers ever.
So that's interesting because it implies that they have a significant research group as well, because the soldiers themselves aren't going to be able to study the genomic stuff. So somebody else must be doing that.
One of the greatest soldiers ever?
The man they call the greatest warrior of the 20th century.
You don't mean
his
Big
face
Boss.
That's right. We've been working feverishly to identify the genes responsible for his incredible combat skill. So far, we've discovered about 60 of the so-called soldier genes.
So his body was recovered after all.
Yes, and his cells have remained frozen in a cryo chamber. His genomic information is a priceless treasure to mankind.
Priceless to the military, perhaps.
His body was burned severely, but it was possible to restore his DNA profile from just a single strand of his hair.
You people are amazing. And then you're gonna transplant those genes into soldiers?
Yes. We'll use a process that I discovered called gene targeting. The strongest soldiers don't become what they are by acquiring their skills through training or experience. We now know that hereditary factors are far more crucial for creating superior soldiers.
Snake, we can't give them his body. It's potentially more dangerous than all the nuclear warheads on that island put together.
I hear the terrorists are calling themselves the Sons of Big Boss.
The Sons of Big Boss? Tell me about these next-generation special forces.
They started out as an anti-terrorist special ops unit, made up of former members of biochem units, technical escort units, and the nuclear emergency surge team. Their purpose was to respond to threats involving next-generation weapons of mass destruction, including NBC weapons.
Until they
Nuclear,
were
biological,
out of
chemical.
Who's they?
These guys didn't start out as regular army.
Looks like a pretty international group. Mercenaries?
Yeah, and it gets worse. Most of them were from a merc agency that I think you're familiar with. They were part of Big Boss's private guard. And after Big Boss went down, the military just bought out all their contracts.
Outer heaven.
After that, they were merged with our own VR unit, Force 21, and retrained. If you ask me, these so-called next-generation special forces should be called simulated soldiers. They have no real battle experience.
Video game players, huh?
Womp womp.
Don't forget they've all been strengthened with gene therapy. They carry genes which make them excellent soldiers. Don't get careless just because they don't have much experience.
I thought using genetically modified soldiers was prohibited by international law.
Yes, but those are just declarations, not actual treaties.
The interesting thing is that nearly every member of the unit conspired in this attack.
Nearly 100% participation in the mutiny. Interesting. I haven't listened to this in a long time.
How could an entire unit be subverted to rebellion?
They're calling it a revolution.
Since they all went through the same gene therapy, they probably felt closer than brothers. They see the unit as their only family.
The Sons of Big Boss. But if they were regular army, they must have been interviewed periodically by army counselors.
According to their files, they all got straight A's on their psychological tests.
Womp womp.
They all seemed like fine, upstanding, patriotic soldiers.
But they all took part in the uprising?
No, several people didn't show up on the day of the exercise. That's why there was a resupply of troops.
Was there any sign recently that something might be wrong?
There was a report a month ago that they were acting strangely.
Apparently they consulted classified information about the soldier genes and performed their own gene therapy experiments.
They can do that even without you?
Well, our gene therapy process is almost completely automated.
But it requires
And
facilities.
besides that, they're all geniuses with IQs over 180.
Even the existence of this genome army is a national secret of the highest order. We've been hoping to investigate this thing quietly and deal with it behind closed doors.
But they failed. So if I remember correctly, right, we've got Psycho Mantis.
High-tech Special Forces Unit FOX-HOUND. Your former unit, and one that I was a commander of. An elite group combining firepower and expertise. They're every bit as good as when I was commanding them.
So they're still around.
There are 6 members of FOX-HOUND involved in this terrorist activity. Psycho Mantis, with his powerful psychic abilities. Sniper Wolf, a beautiful and deadly sharpshooter. Decoy Octopus, master of disguise. Vulcan Raven, giant and shaman. And Revolver Ocelot, specialist in interrogation and a formidable gunfighter.
Looks like a lovely bunch of folks. Too bad we'll be meeting under these circumstances.
And finally, in charge of them, FOX-HOUND squad leader, Liquid Snake.
Liquid Snake?
Yes. And you're the only person who can stand against him.
Liquid Snake.
Liquid Snake.
Liquid Snake.
The man with the same code name as you.
Tell me what you know.
He fought in the Gulf War as a teenager, the youngest person in the SAS. His job was to track down and destroy mobile Scud missile launching platforms. You were there too, I believe. Didn't you infiltrate Western Iraq with a platoon of Green Berets?
I was just a kid myself back then.
The details are classified, but it seems that originally he penetrated the Middle East as a sleeper for the SIS.
He was a spy for the British Secret Intelligence Service?
But he never once showed his face in Century House. He was taken prisoner in Iraq, and after that there was no trace of him for several years. After you retired, he was rescued and became a member of FOX-HOUND.
I thought that by the time I left, they were no longer using code names.
I don't know his real name. That information is so highly classified that even I can't look at it. Here's a photo of him. Pretty shocking, huh? His skin tone is different, but otherwise you two are exact duplicates.
I have a twin?
I don't know the details, but it seems so. That's why we really need you for this mission.
You're the only one who can beat him. Now that I've met you, I know. You've got something that he doesn't. I can see it in your eyes.
Why don't I find that thought more comforting?
Yeah, it's pretty nice that they put all this stuff together. Is there anything useful and special? Oh, right, we looked at this a little bit last time. So there's... yeah. Maybe we'll go through those in a different episode. I'll read through them and we can talk a little bit about... there's VR training, which I do have a save game for. But here we go. Back in. This is always a neat little thing to look at. Some art, some text. So we got in touch with the DARPA chief, and the chief says that the terrorists found out one of the 2 detonation codes. It's possible to deactivate the detonation code by using the emergency override key held by Baker. He's on the 2nd floor basement, then he dies of a heart attack. So we gotta find Baker. And last time we just made it to the 2nd floor basement. Now I remember... oh, there's some C4. Are there no soldiers around here? not seeing anybody walking around. Later on in the game, there will be soldiers here, and they will be very annoying. We have plenty of SOCOM ammo. Oh, this opens too. You gotta watch out because there are gonna be like lasers running around and stuff. We got some grenades. Okay, so now yeah, that's not gonna help. So when I was a kid, I had a TV that didn't have very good color balance, and so it was really hard to actually see these color differences. But there's actually a couple of them, and so you can get so there's one here, and since we have a bunch of C4 and there's no soldiers around, I want to get nice and far away. Also notice it's like a decal. Stun grenades, chaff grenades. There's also one here. These ones are optional. Oh, is this? No, it's not. There's no lasers, but there are trapdoors. You see those? Those on the floor? We're gonna want to try to avoid those. A little more C4. Well, no, I don't want to. There we go. Yeah, you really actually need to have a TV with pretty good color balance for to see these well. The old one I was playing on when I was a kid was not good enough. But here's the last one. Gotta be careful because C4 actually has a pretty good blast range. It's been so long since I played this. I'm trying to remember. There's another. Then there's two more here. Then there's actually guns there that I don't think we can do anything. There's a level 6 door. Level 4 door, so we can't do any of that. But what we actually need to do is head in here. And you know what? Just in case.
Snake, you can't use your radar in that area. There's some kind of electronic jamming coming from there. I wonder what it is. Anyway, be careful. Be careful, Snake.
Yep. Alright, let's do this.
Am I too late? He's alive. You're the Armstech President, Kenneth Baker, right? Don't worry. I'm here to save you.
No, don't touch it!
C4.
A lot of it.
Right. Touch that wire, and the C4 will blow up along with the old man. So you're the one that the boss keeps talking about.
And you?
Special Operations FOX-HOUND. Revolver Ocelot.
So cool.
I've been waiting for you, Solid Snake. Now we'll see if the man can live up to the legend. This is the greatest handgun ever made. The Colt Single Action Army. 6 bullets, more than enough to kill anything that moves. Now I'll show you why they call me Revolver.
It is extremely hard to load a single action army that fast. The fastest I've been able to do is like 15 seconds. Because it has a gate.
Hiding won't help you.
So you have to be really careful here not to run across the...
I make them know what I want. I love the music.
Oh, I hate to cut him off.
All right, alive.
So iconic. Yeah, I have a ration equipped, so I should be... So, realistically, it's important to note that the single action army is generally going to use lead bullets, and lead bullets do not bounce.
Don't you want to settle this?
Oh, I...
But to you, it'll be the smell of your own.
Yeah, we would cut off his statements, which sucks. Got him.
You're pretty good. Just what I'd expect from the man with the same code as the boss.
Pretty good, huh?
It's been a long time since I had such a good fight. But I'm just getting warmed up. What? My hand! Stealth camouflage. Can't you even die right? You were lucky. We'll meet again! Who are you? I like you. I have no name.
That exoskeleton.
Who the hell?
Yeah, right?
Can you talk?
Who are you?
I'm not one of them. The DARPA chief told me he gave them his detonation code. What about yours?
Oh, I get it. Jim sent you. You're from the Pentagon.
Answer my question. What about your code? There's no time.
I talked.
What? Now the terrorists have both codes and can launch any time.
It's not like I didn't fight. I managed to resist Psycho Mantis's mind probe.
He couldn't read you? How'd you do it?
Surgical implants in my brain.
Surgical implants?
Kind of like a psychic insulation. Everyone who knows these top secret codes has it.
Even the DARPA chief?
Of course.
But the DARPA chief said Mantis got his code by reading his mind.
Are you sure you heard him right?
Yeah, I'm sure. In that case, how did they get your code?
I never had any training on how to resist torture.
It looks like he had some fun with you, all right.
Oh, he's not human. I tell you, he loved every second of it.
What happened to your arm?
He broke it.
Looks like you're more than even now. His was sliced off.
Ha, you're a funny man. So the DARPA chief, is he okay?
Dead.
What? Can't be. No, that's not what you promised, Jim. Now you want to shut me up?
Calm down. What's wrong with you? I just told you I was here to save you. I didn't kill the DARPA chief. He had a heart attack or something.
A heart attack? Oh, don't be a fool.
Anyway, the terrorists have both codes now.
Those boys are totally insane. They wouldn't hesitate to launch.
I agree, but what do they really want?
Oh, who knows? Maybe they're like us in the arms industry, always looking forward to the next good war.
Well, I'm not gonna let these maniacs start a war today. You still have the card keys?
Card keys?
To override the detonation code. I heard you had them.
No, not anymore.
What? Who does then? Not the terrorists.
No, that woman.
Woman? Who?
A soldier that was thrown in prison along with me.
A female soldier. It must be.
She said she had just joined up as a new recruit. They threw her in prison because she refused to take part in the rebellion.
A new recruit? Could that be the Colonel's niece?
I gave her the key. Looks like she managed to break out of here, though. I hope she's okay.
I'm sure she is. She's green, but as tough as they come. But how did you know she escaped?
I was in contact with her by codec. Until I was tied up here, that is.
Codec?
Yes, she stole it from the guard. If she still has it, you should be able to contact her.
I'm sure she still has it. What frequency was she at?
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you, it's... Oh, sorry. I forgot.
Damn! You forgot?
Oh, that's right. It should be on the back of the CD case. Try to contact her.
I'll contact her right away. But tell me, if this doesn't work, is there some other way to prevent the missile launch?
You need to find Hal Emmerich, one of my employees.
Who's that?
The team leader of the Metal Gear Rex project. A genius at engineering, but a little bit of an oddball. If there's anyone who can figure out how to stop Metal Gear from launching, it's him.
What if he can't come up with anything?
You'll have to destroy it. Emmerich knows how to destroy Metal Gear.
Where is this Emmerich?
Well, he's probably being held somewhere in the nuclear warhead storage building. It's north from here. That's where he worked.
I understand, but why Metal Gear? The nuclear age ended with the turn of the millennium.
Oh, you're wrong. The threat of nuclear war isn't gone. In fact, it's greater than it's ever been. The amount of spent nuclear fuel and plutonium is increasing even today. Listen, have you ever seen a warehouse full of nuclear material?
No.
Drums and drums of nuclear waste stacked this high, as far as you can see, because there's still no real way to dispose of the stuff.
So they just close the lid and try to pretend like it'll go away?
Essentially, yes. And they're not even doing a good job of storing it. Many of the drums are corroded, with nuclear waste seeping out of them.
Unbelievable.
Not only that, but several pounds of MUF are reported every year.
MUF?
It stands for material unaccounted for. It proves that there's a large and well-organized black market in nuclear materials. Furthermore, since the end of the Cold War, Russian nuclear engineers in particular are out of work with no way to turn. In other words, there's plenty of available nuclear material and scientists for making a bomb. We live in an age when any small country can have a nuclear weapons program.
What about the other superpowers?
Russia and China still maintain a significant nuclear presence. Complete nuclear disarmament is an impossibility.
Says
To
the arms
maintain
dealer.
our own policy of deterrence, we need a weapon of overwhelming power.
You mean Metal Gear.
Yes. You know our industry suffered quite a blow as a result of the cuts in military budgets due to this so-called peace.
I remember hearing a lot about mergers and takeovers among the big weapons makers.
Yes, and after my company lost their bid to produce the Air Force's next line of fighter jet, the Metal Gear system was our last ace in the hole. That's why we pushed to have Metal Gear developed as a black project.
Black Project.
Secret projects paid for by the Pentagon's black budget. You can avoid a lot of red tape and get a great lead time on your weapons production. And no one can bother you. Not even those bleeding heart liberals on the Military Oversight Committee.
Bribes.
I prefer to think of it as good business. Anyway, Metal Gear was going to be formally adopted after the results of this exercise were analyzed.
I don't give a crap about you and your company.
Yes, that's about what I'd expect from a grunt like you. Here, this is what you came for, right?
What's that?
An optical disc. It's all here. The main hard drive was destroyed by gunfire. This is the only remaining copy of the data.
What kind of data?
All the data collected from this exercise. Don't play dumb. I know you were sent to get this. I hid it from that sadistic maniac while he was torturing me. They don't know this disc exists. Make sure you report this to Jim. To your boss. I'll give you my card too. It'll open up all security level 2 doors.
Can you walk?
No. No, you go on without me. They got my password. They don't want anything else from me.
I have one more question. Who or what was that ninja thing? It looked like you knew something.
That ninja? That was FOX-HOUND's dark little secret.
Dark little secret.
An experimental genome soldier.
You know him?
You should ask Dr. Naomi Hunter from FOX-HOUND. She knows better than I.
Naomi.
You've got to stop them. If it goes public, my company and I are finished.
What? Doesn't Metal Gear use currently existing technology?
Metal Gear itself does, but... What did you do to me? Oh, no. Oh, no, it can't be. Those Pentagon bastards. So, they actually went and did it.
What are you talking about?
They're just using you for...
Huh.
What the hell? Colonel, are you listening? Now he's dead too.
I have no idea.
Don't lie to me.
It looked like another heart attack, but...
Some kind of poison?
Well, there are lots of drugs that can cause a heart attack in large doses. For example, potassium chloride or dioxides, but we won't be able to tell without doing an autopsy.
Damn!
Snake, I want you and Meryl to work together.
Can I trust her?
More than you can trust me. Get in contact with her.
Snake, there's a lot of electrical interference coming from there. It should be okay if you do burst transmission like us, but normal transmission is probably impossible. Try moving away from that area.
Snake, get a hold of yourself.
Naomi, what the hell was that ninja thing? A member of FOX-HOUND?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes, we have no one like that in our unit.
Is that right?
Snake, I'm counting on you.
So after each big fight, you kind of sort of level up. Yeah, you see, I can carry more SOCOM ammo now. Anything else to pick up now? So now there's soldiers down here. Fortunately, they don't generally check inside these rooms unless they're chasing you. But what we'll do is we'll save here.
What is it, Snake? Snake, like Shakespeare said, naught's had, all spent, while our desire is got without content. Basically, it means that your desire can get you into trouble if you're not careful. That goes for items, too. Don't get too greedy or you might be sorry. Be careful, Snake.
Nice.
First, the DARPA chief, and then President Baker die of a heart attack?
Yeah, smells pretty rotten to me. Master, do you know anything?
No. But there's definitely something going on. Keep your eyes open out there.
The DARPA chief and President Baker. So now the terrorists know both detonation codes.
Yeah, and on top of that, they both died right in front of my eyes.
Snake, now that the terrorists have both detonation codes, the only way to stop a nuclear launch is to either use the detonation code release keys that Meryl's holding, or
find the Metal Gear chief engineer that President Baker mentioned, Hal Emmerich.
in any case, you should contact Meryl by codec. Wasn't her frequency written on the back of the CD case?
So when they say CD case, they're actually talking about so it's actually, so the thing that bugs me is that they give you this magneto-optical disc, which is a CD, and so it's like, I always thought when I was younger that like, oh yeah, you need to like do something with this disc, like maybe if you equip the disc and pop in here, maybe that does it. And of course, you have to think outside the box a little bit, because literally on the back of the case there is a picture of the codec screen with Snake saying Meryl, and it's 140.15. If you play around long enough and don't actually call her, and like call what's his name Campbell enough times, it will eventually pop up, but it takes like a while.
Who are you?
I was really impressed with the way you busted yourself out of there.
The one from the prison?
You're the Colonel's niece, Meryl, right?
No, it's not him. Just exactly who are you?
I'm the fool that your uncle sent all alone into the middle of this whole mess.
You came by yourself? You think you're some kind of one-man army?
Kinda.
I don't need lectures. You're just like your uncle, you know?
How do you know my uncle?
We go way back.
What's your name?
My name's not important.
Aha. Could you be Snake? Are you Solid Snake?
That's what some people call me.
The legendary Solid Snake? You? Sorry about before. I wasn't sure if you were one of the good guys.
But I knew you were.
How?
It's your eyes.
My eyes?
They're not soldiers' eyes.
And they're rookies' eyes, right?
No, they're beautiful, compassionate eyes.
Oh, just what I'd expect from the legendary Solid Snake. You trying to sweep me off my feet?
Don't worry, you'll land back on them once you meet me. The reality is no match for the legend, I'm afraid.
Oh, I don't believe that.
Why did you look so surprised when you saw my face?
Because you look just like him.
You mean the terrorist leader, Liquid Snake?
Yeah, you know him? You're not brothers, are you?
I have no family.
So what's the deal then?
Who knows? Why don't you ask him? But first I want some information. You were involved in this exercise from the beginning. What exactly happened here?
I'm sorry. I was captured along with President Baker right after the terrorist attack.
That's okay. But what is this place? I don't think it's just a nuclear weapons disposal facility.
Boy, oh boy, it's just like them. Nobody told you anything, did they? Okay, you see, this place isn't really for disposing nuclear weapons. This base is owned and operated by a dummy corporation of Armstech.
This is a civilian base?
Right, for the development of Metal Gear.
Colonel,
FOX-HOUND and the Next Generation Special Forces were called here for the test launching of a dummy nuclear warhead.
Why FOX-HOUND?
Because they're a special ops group used to handling top-secret missions. They figured they could help keep it all hush-hush.
But we must have fired nuclear warheads before. Why just this time?
I heard it was because this was to be a final test before the formal adoption of the Metal Gear program. Well, that's what I heard anyway.
Sounds kind of fishy. So what do you think the terrorists want?
Sorry. I'm not sure. I was captured with President Baker right after the revolt started.
Oh yeah, that's when he gave you the detonation code override keys, right?
That's right.
Amazing you were able to keep them hidden from the guards.
Well, women have more hiding places than men. Anyway, you met Baker, huh? How's he holding up?
He's dead.
What?
Heart attack. Same as the DARPA chief.
The chief died from a heart attack too?
It looked like
Yeah. Was either of them sick or anything?
No, not that I heard of.
Well, I don't believe in coincidences. Something funny's going on.
Sounds like it, but I have no idea what.
Me neither. Yet. Do you know the person who designed Metal Gear?
You mean Dr. Emmerich?
Yes. Is he still alive?
Probably. He should be in the research lab in the second-floor basement of the nuclear warhead storage building to the north.
Second floor basement.
Yeah, that's where his lab is. I think they're forcing him to work on the nuclear launching program.
So they'll need him alive until that's done anyway.
Then we better do something before he finishes.
You're right. In case we can't override the detonation code in time, I need to ask him how to destroy Metal Gear.
You plan to take that thing on by yourself, Snake?
It won't be the first time. What's the best way to get to the building where the doctor is being held?
There's a cargo door on the first floor of this building that leads to the north.
What's the security level of the door there?
5. But it's okay. I've got a level 5 card.
Well, I've got to go save the doctor. You should go.
I'm going with you.
No way. You're still too green. I want you to hide somewhere.
I'm not green.
Oh, yes, you are. You pause for just 1 second in front of your enemy and it's all over. Good luck doesn't last forever.
I don't know what happened. I just couldn't pull the trigger right away. I never had any problems in training, but when I thought about my bullets tearing through those soldiers' bodies, I hesitated.
Shooting at targets and shooting at living, breathing people are different.
Ever since I was a little girl, I always dreamed about being a soldier. Every day of my life, I've trained my mind and body for the one day when I could finally see some real action, and now...
So what now? You want to quit?
I can't quit. I can't allow myself to quit now.
Listen, Meryl. Everybody feels sick the first time they kill someone. Unfortunately, killing is one of those things that gets easier the more you do it. In a war, all of mankind's worst emotions, worst traits come out. It's easy to forget what a sin is in the middle of a battlefield.
But this isn't a war. It's a terrorist action.
You're just a little jumpy from the combat high. The adrenaline in your bloodstream is starting to thin out. Just take it easy.
But I learned all about combat high at the academy.
We'll
Yeah,
talk
but that's
about
not the
it
same
later.
thing as experiencing
For now,
it.
just think about keeping yourself alive.
If I get out of here alive, I'll think about that other stuff.
Okay, let me try to say this another way. Stay the hell out of my way.
You're a real bastard. Just like my uncle said.
Huh, I told you. The real me is no match for the legend.
It looks like you were right. Okay, Snake. I'll be a good girl.
We'll link up after I grab the doctor. Then we'll take care of the detonation code override.
Gotcha. But listen, I know this area better than you. Call me if you have any questions.
Be careful, okay?
After I open up the cargo door, I'll contact you.
Don't worry, Colonel. Meryl is fine.
Thank God.
Meryl is a very strong woman. I really respect her.
She's got plenty of heart.
Thanks, Snake.
Not so fast. The real mission is still ahead.
Gotta be careful here because these lasers are very easy to accidentally bump into. No? Yeah, it's Snake's head that counts for grabbing stuff. Now, fortunately, it's fairly easy to avoid these guys. Oh, that's SOCOM ammo though. I'm good on that already. Gotta wait for this guy to go by though. Nothing in there. Can I get over here? Maybe. Hop in here and check out, look for stuff. Yeah! More chaff grenades. So now I can carry 6. Oh geez, yeah, you gotta watch out for those. Those are scary. Okay, we're clear. In the twin snakes, those floors just disappear, and then they're gone forever, and you can just fall down them. It's very ridiculous. Oh, it closed or opened. Cool. Let's wait for this guy to get out of the way. I mean, if you want to actually get like a really good rating in this game, you have to know all the patterns and get all the timings just right. Stop by the first floor basement just to make sure there's not anything that we can pick up and use now. Because I think, if I'm right... There we go. Yeah, there's a ration in here. Can't carry anymore. It's interesting that this floor is just completely empty. Oops.
Snake, I unlocked the cargo door for you.
Thanks. Where are you?
Where I can see ya.
Don't move around too much.
Don't worry, I'm disguised in this enemy uniform.
Kinda.
You won't be for long with the way you walk.
What does that mean?
Nothing.
Listen, Snake, the cargo door is like an airlock. It's equipped with infrared sensors. Be careful. If an intruder is sensed, gas is released.
Gas?
Okay, so we'll meet at the nuclear warhead storage building.
Wait, you said you'd stay put and be a good girl.
I changed my mind.
Don't get careless. That's when things always turn sour.
Sorry, but this is the only way I can figure out whether or not I'm cut out to be a soldier. I gotta get my hands dirty.
These guys are professionals. You're gonna get yourself killed.
See you there.
No one finds this door opening suspicious. That's fine.
What is it, Snake? Snake, in China they say, you must cross the river before you tell the crocodile he has bad bread. Do you know what that means? It means that the wise man avoids danger first. Use your brain to avoid traps and stay away from the enemy.
Right. So what we're actually going to do... Actually, does this work? No. We're going to actually... Because we cut off all of Revolver's, Ocelot's lines, and there's interesting things to say about them. So we're going to check that out real quick. And then we'll call it for the night. Yeah, it's really slow to pick up on a PS1 game. That's alright, it'll figure it out in a second. It's slow at reading CDs, specifically. We had the same problem with Ring of Red, right? It took forever for it to figure out what it is. And I don't remember if that's like just a thing that like my current PS2 is doing, or if all of them do. I seem to recall it being quicker on my original one, which was a trooper. It's a story for another day, maybe, but I had a fat PS2, and unfortunately I sold it, which was one of the stupidest things, gaming-wise, that I've done. Because what I actually did was I replaced it with one of those skinny ones, and they didn't have enough heat sinking. Alright. Now we're good. So what we're going to highlight here is what Ocelot says as you fight him. And the reason is because there's actually a couple things in them that are not quite correct. And also because there's some things in them that are kind of cool. So it's a little bit of both. Oh, come on. So we'll skip this scene. Oops, I grabbed that by accident. That was a mistake.
I love you, man.
Dang it, I did it! Friggin' Dang it, that sucks. I didn't think he was gonna say anything, and then there he goes. We'll get it right. Irritating. Come on, read the disc. There it goes. The PlayStation logo stays up long enough that you can actually hear a little bit of that noise. The PS2 logo is too short. It just makes a whoop noise. Okay, here we go. We'll get it right this time. Me being too eager. Too eager to shoot Ocelot. Alright, here we go. One more try. His first statement's gonna come when he reloads, right? So.
Hiding won't help you.
The trick is that you can auto-aim. I understand the bullets you see.
I make them go where I want. Hiding won't help you. I love to reload during a battle. There's nothing like the feeling of slamming a long silver bullet into a well-greased chamber. All right, I'm alive. Let's go.
First off, never grease the chamber of a revolver. It's a bad idea. Grease burns. And when grease burns, it makes things sticky. And you don't want things to be sticky.
You better hurry up. The old man's not gonna last too long. Don't you want to settle this?
Ooh, careful. Almost hit Baker. Ah, dang it!
I love the smell of porter. You know, that sultry smell.
So, cordite.
But to you, it'll be the smell of your own death.
Cordite is an old type of propellant for rounds, for bullets, that is so named because it was shaped like a bunch of little cords. It was used in really old British weaponry, but there's no way that Ocelot's weapon uses cordite.
Wait a minute.
I love the wait a minute. Yeah, you see that? He starts to, like, breathe really fast. Now, it's perfectly reasonable to produce 45 Colt. Long Colt is technically a misnomer. It's perfectly reasonable to create Long Colt, or 45 Colt with, smokeless powder, but you can also do it with black powder. Dang it. I missed him. And I ran out of ammo. I ran out of ammo, so I need to grab this one. It's also important to note that the round that Snake is using in the SOCOM is the 45 ACP, or automatic Colt pistol. And it usually uses a 230 grain bullet, moving around 700 to 800 feet per second. And the 45 Colt that is in the single action army usually uses a 250 grain bullet, usually lead, whereas the 45 ACP is usually copper jacketed.
Wait a minute.
They spawn more, though.
I need more help.
This fight's kind of ridiculous because it's not quite... The camera's not quite high enough, and so like, you can't actually see what our revolver is doing through most of it. He's just out of sight.
Wait a minute.
Oh, come on. Dang it! If you don't take charge in the start of this fight, it can draw out like this. There we go. So this has been... We'll call it. We'll get through all these movies,
Can you talk?
cutscenes, whatever.
The amount of spent nuclear fuel and plutonium is increasing even to... In other words...
You mean right.
So the other thing worth noting is that if you want a good...
Colonel, are you listening? Now he's dead too.
If you want a good rating in this game, you need to skip all the story stuff too, because they keep the game clock running while you're in the movies and in the codec, which is kind of ridiculous. Anyway, this has been... We took out Ocelot. Well, not took out, but we beat Ocelot. We got the second card key. We're headed north to pick up Hal Emmerich, and we'll pick this up next week. And we had some fun gun nut moments for me as well. And talking about how some of the things Ocelot says don't make a lot of sense. That cordite line. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching. On Monday, that's Memorial Day, but I should be around, and I think I will be running some Silent Hill 2 on Monday. Wednesday will be... Gosh, I'm not sure yet. Something on Wednesday, and then more of this on Friday, week from today. So, as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time.